Star Citizen Ship Showdown was very dramatic this year, at least more dramatic than it has been previously. It was certainly more interesting, exciting to some degree, but controversial and somewhat polarizing, and I want to talk about it in a bit of a ranty video. The Ship Showdown has the community getting active on social media to work out the sort of roughly top 16 most popular flyable ships in game, and then have them head off against each other in a single elimination vote. The top 4 ships get skins made for them. Also, they were part of a free fly this year as well, so anyone could try Star Citizen for free and have access to the top 4 ships. The winner of the Ship Showdown this year was the Argo Cargo, so that is a bit odd. So there was much tomfoolery with this year's Ship Showdown. Zin is annoyed that people voted on a ship that is essentially useless, especially currently. That Argo Cargo can't quantum travel, it has no weapons, it doesn't make use of cargo properly yet. It is a slightly more orange brick. And I don't necessarily believe it is people's favourite ship. I do believe it is some people's favourite meme, but I'm a little bit salty. Not because the Argo Cargo necessarily won, but how a lot of this stuff was handled and how mechanically it was handled. There were a lot of people that decided to make new accounts to vote for the Argo Cargo, and admittedly, in the finals stage, both the Mercury Star Runner and Argo Cargo people were making accounts for. The Ship Showdown is a bit of fun, but this does not mean it shouldn't be taken seriously, and it should be handled in a fair way. So there were a lot of community responses talking about the Argo Cargo winning and lots of stuff during the votes. So I saw posts ranging from attempting to, while the votes were going on, attempting to brigade people into voting for the Argo Cargo, but obviously it's just general sort of like propaganda, vote for my ship, come on, let's do it, guys. There were people saying, make new accounts and vote. I saw people that were saying, let's undermine the Ship Showdown by voting by the Argo Cargo. I mean, it doesn't undermine anything, it just means that that ship that is essentially useless wins. But there were a lot of Argo memes, some of which were quite funny, and some of which were, you know, my level of meme, which would be the lowest effort meme possible. And there was also posts saying that the sort of community is toxic or really, really getting quite angry and grumpy and salty about the whole situation. So some people blamed Cloud Imperium Xylo, because in round 2, he said, if the Argo Cargo beats the Carrack in round 2, I will paint my face like an Argo Cargo. That actually had quite a large section of the community starting talking about, well, actually, let's vote up the Argo Cargo. But during the Ship Showdown, there is what I would refer to as rampant cheating. Players were creating new accounts to vote on the Ship Showdown. And you go, well, how many new accounts were they creating? Well, it looks to me that typically Star Citizen has around 900 new accounts created each day. So I've grabbed data from a funder tracker that's been tracking Star Citizen's funding for many years now, and I use for lots of things. So hopefully that data is reasonably accurate. There obviously could be issues here, and please, when I'm talking about this stuff, it is semi-anecdotally. I mean, I've got some evidence, but I can't verify everything properly, and it is a bit of a rant anyway. So there was a free fly event going on as well, so the actual amount of new accounts went up to around 2,000 to 3,000 made a day. But a couple of days after the free fly started, on a Wednesday or Thursday, we had the Argo Cargo versus the Mercury Star Runner in the finals. The accounts made on that day went up to 16,000, and then after that day went back to 2,000 to 3,000. Yes, it could potentially be for other reasons, but as I said, it is a bit suspicious. And I saw a burst of people voting on the Argo Cargo and, a little bit later, the Mercury Star Runner, especially in the last few hours. So the Mercury Star Runner was up on the Argo Cargo when it was in the last 4 or 5 hours, and then the Argo took the lead. I witnessed a massive burst of votes for the Argo Cargo in the last 4 or 5 hours, and then the Mercury Star Runner actually started to get loads of votes as well in the end, and that's when it appears, to me anyway, that lots of new accounts were created. Now, a lot of other things may have contributed to lots of votes and people making accounts that weren't as nefarious. There was a lot of charity events going on where if we beat the Mercury Star Runner and the Argo Cargo wins, we'll give a load of money to this, and lots of fundraising going on. I think someone was saying they'd give $10 for every vote that the Argo Cargo beats the Mercury Star Runner by, things like that. So a lot of that probably actually drummed up a lot of interest in getting people to vote for something. And as I said, it is a bit of fun. I say in quite a grumpy way. There was a load of responses from Cloud Imperium, and I think actually that some of these responses, or at least some of the responses I saw from other people in regards to these, is what riled me up a little bit of a way, and I went, actually, I want a bit of a rant. I want to have a bit of a rant. I'm sorry if people are like, ugh, why rant? But I wanted to. So Cloud Imperium Xylo was on Twitter talking about what was happening with the Ship Showdown, because when the Argo Cargo was against the Carrack, they identified the fact that people were making a load of new accounts, and all they were doing is voting for a ship in the Ship Showdown, and then not doing anything else with the account. So Xylo said, interesting fact, the final 4 hours of the Argo Cargo versus the Carrack voting, we saw new accounts created. The numbers are not abnormal. I admit defeat. The Argo Cargo won round 2. That's what he said. He then said, on the day that the Argo Cargo was crowned the victor of the Ship Showdown on the 23rd of September, those rushing to make accounts to influence one side or the other, we see you, aren't actually making a difference. I mean, statistically, and watching what was going on, it looks like they were. I mean, their votes were being counted, for sure. So I'm not sure what that means. I did put a tweet out in response to Xylo saying, it looks like they were having some effect, because I literally am following what's going on. I'd like to see the data, if that sort of thing. Someone then messaged me, basically saying, oh no, it's not having any effect. Or if it is, it's happening at exactly the same rate. The people are voting for the Argo Cargo and the Carrack at the same rate that they're making accounts. So I was like, you haven't told me anything. You don't know what you're talking about. Admittedly, that wasn't a CIG guy that contacted me. It was just a few randoms. Tyler went on to say after the Argo Cargo had won, I wanted the Carrack to win. However, I'm capable of admitting defeat. Congratulations to Argo fans. Fun fact, we ran a query to see if the outcome would have changed if we only counted backer votes, and the Argo Cargo would have still taken it. So that's a maybe. Now, I'm slightly suspicious of that, because I want to see the data, rather than just say that. I just feel that it was very quickly responded to, and typically I would have expected data to take a while to look through, and sort of work out exactly how to filter it. But Tyler went on to say, contentious or not, it was pretty awesome to see so many invested in the showdown this year. At the end of the day, the event is all in good fun. We also learned a lot and can't wait to make it even better next year. Thanks to everyone who participated. So that's actually quite good to hear, because I do want them to make the event better, and I do think there's actually quite a lot of legs with it. It was a lot more popular and controversial and exciting and interesting this year. I mean, I quite like a bit of Star Citizen drama, to be honest. I'm a bit of a monster, but I love the project warts and all. And even these sort of like weird controversy things, or things that aren't really controversies that get blown a bit out of proportion, I find quite interesting. I am really interested to know the amount of accounts that literally their only interaction is to vote for the Argo Cargo or a ship in the Ship Showdown, and that's it, nothing else. And I think I would like to see only people that have something purchased on their account, or a game backer in some way, they've got a game package or something like that. They're the only people that are allowed to vote, just to stop this sort of like rampant exploiting. Citizenship must be earned, or in this case, purchased. In the future, we need to restrict the use of exploits, so I think that's sort of fair enough. I think one of the other things is that a very, very few people actually own an Argo Cargo. I suspect it's pretty rare in-game. I'm going to try and grab the data from Cloud Imperium, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the future, maybe. But people are allowed to vote for what they want, and if people want to meme a ship to the top, I think that's sort of fair enough. I just don't want people to be able to exploit that further. Zin sees the whole thing as relatively ridiculous and was pretty grumpy about the whole thing. She's not a massive fan of the Argo Cargo. She is a big fan of the Mercury Star Runner, which has functions and uses. But there were some more mechanical problems with the Ship Showdown in general as well. So the Ship Showdown's pairings. There's 16 ships, so 8 matches at the start. Now, that's in single elimination, which isn't a great format, because you might have the 2 favourite ships, or some of the top 4 ships go out in the first round because they're going against each other. And it's just not a great format for what they want. Double elimination or something else might be a bit more sensible. Also, there was no fighter in the top 4 ships. So the fighters were fighting against each other in the first sort of round, and then, I think there was only the was it just the Saber and the Gladius, and they went against each other in the first round. So I thought that was a bit silly, especially when you're going to have a free fly event where you're trying to get new players to try the game, and there's no fighter for them to try. But there is instead an Argo Cargo, which functionally has no use. If that is your only experience of the game, going, I'm going to use one of my free fly ships. I'll use this one. How do I quantum travel? Quantum travel must be broken. What does this do? Well, my guns must be broken. It doesn't have guns! It doesn't have a quantum drive! But I lightly apologise for some of my rant. I think maybe I just wanted to vent a bit. And sometimes I will do a podcasty, venty, ranty thing. But it's not important. The Ship Showdown wasn't important. I do think that Cloud Imperium can improve it significantly, and they can make more of a big deal out of it and have it as a great sales event, because that's what it is at the end of the day. This year's event was probably the most successful they've ever had by some margin, because loads more people got involved with it. Tens of thousands of people voted on it. It had articles written about it. It had so many posts on social media about it. There were some suggestions as well, I saw, and lots of rumours and people chatting about this sort of stuff at the moment as well. The Argo Cargo is supposed to have a search and rescue variant, and might have other variants in the future as well, so maybe this is just a clever marketing ploy for that. But that's more conspiratorial. But anyway, I accept the Argo Cargo won the competition, and congratulations to people that own one. I own one as well! And thank you for my community for remaining sane and civil. I do sort of appreciate that. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below, as long as they are civil, because as Tyler said, it was all a bit of good fun, really. At least it's supposed to be. But what do you think Cloud Imperium can do to improve the Ship Showdown? Do you think it should be a bigger affair with sort of multiple sort of categories, where you have like a fighter category and all that sort of stuff? Maybe they should have it over a couple of weeks or 3 weeks or something, and make a much bigger affair of it before CitizenCon, because then you have like the end of the year, you've got Ship Showdown, CitizenCon, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, boom, just a huge amount of Star Citizen hype at the end of each year. Do you love the fact the Argo Cargo was the winner? Do you hate the fact the Mercury Star Runner was robbed? Would you have preferred to have seen a different ship like the Hercules CT or something win? Do you not really care about it? Because it's not a big deal. Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, if you have any particular subjects you'd like me to rant about for Star Citizen, or take a look at and go, actually, just have a bit of a rant, have a bit of a complain, then I will suggest those down below too. Some people say I shill for NordVPN, but listen to some of these comments that I just made up. I've never fed the love of a woman before, but then I got NordVPN, and that didn't matter. Doctor said I'd never walk again, but then I got NordVPN. Now I've been running marathons. Also, I got robot legs around the same time. They might have helped somewhat too. I was a tone-deaf pirate, but after getting NordVPN, I'm able to play the saxophone. Go on, Zin, try and animate all of this. Click the links below to get NordVPN. It might lead you to a more fulfilling life, but more likely, it will just help protect you from the terrors of the internet. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For September, it's for another Mercury Star Runner. I love that ship. It's a great way to try a huge portion of Star Citizen's gameplay. If you want a chance of winning that, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. If you'd like to further support the channel, be sure to check out that join button underneath my videos. There's also links to my Patreon, which also helps loads as well, direct donations, and just commenting, subscribing, liking, all that sort of jazz goes a huge way to helping the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You take care, and I hope to see you in the verse.